My husband told me he's no longer attracted to me. I'm currently pregnant with twins. I don't know what to do, or if there's even anything I can do. This is basically my last resort before considering divorce. We have been together for 7 years and married for 3. This is my first, very planned, very on purpose, pregnancy. I've never been with anyone besides my husband. He was my first kiss and everything else. He, on the other hand, not so much. I have a pretty high sex drive, and so does he. So going 5 times a day, if we have time, is pretty normal for us. After I hit around the 12-week mark of my pregnancy, he stopped initiating sex or responding to my sexual advances. It hurt, but he said he was stressed due to things at work. So I stopped making any sexual comments for a few weeks because I didn't want to add any extra pressure to his life. A few weeks passed, and I mentioned that this is the longest we've ever gone without sex, just trying to see where his mind was at. And he said, "Why does it matter? Are you cheating on me?" Which took me for a loop. I don't take cheating accusations lightly, and feel like if you say that, you should be ready to stand on it. It's insulting to my character, demeaning, and honestly downright disgusting. I told him those and how it made me felt, and he just got quiet. I told him I would never cheat. I'm not pathetic enough to do that. If I wasn't happy with him, I would just leave him. I have every ability to do so. He got emotional and said he was stressed out about money and some petty debts around Fars 5K. So after we finished talking, I was thinking of a way to help him be less stressed, so I sent him 7.5K from my savings. I've been working full-time for over 10 and something years at this point, and started investing a few years ago, so my savings account is comfortable. I told him I sent it to him, and he asked why, and I said the debts. And he said, "What debts?" And I just stared at him like, the ones you just cried in my lap about. He says something like, "Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm just so off today," and goes to sit on the couch. The whole thing felt so weird, so I went out and asked him for details about the debts. After 20 minutes of back and forth, he finally admitted he isn't stressed about debt and isn't having any money problems. He just isn't attracted to me anymore. I asked him what about me has changed since the last time he was attracted to me, because I'm sensitive about my body image my entire life. However, I have never shared those insecurities with anyone. Not even him. It's something I always kept to myself, but even with my current body, I honestly don't think I look that bad. So far, I've literally only gained 25-30 lbs, and I'm still working out and working full-time. So now I'm almost mad, because I didn't get fucking pregnant on my own. And last time I checked, I was the one begging for a kid for the past 2 years. I'm giving him 2, and now he's saying I'm ugly because of my belly, pregnancy hormones and whatnot. I started crying a little, but wiping them away as fast as I could because I was more mad than sad. He said it's not me, it's the pregnancy, and he's concerned about the long-term effects to my body after seeing videos of postpartum bodies and C-section scars. Then told me it wasn't fair that I was upset because he's having a natural male reaction, and I'm manipulating his feelings. He's never said anything like this before either. I asked him to explain what a natural male reaction is, and he said what makes a guy hard and what makes a guy not hard. I asked him to go stay with a friend for a night or two so I can have some space, and he's staying at his sister's, who called me and asked what happened because we never really fight. I don't know what to do, really. I'm exhausted from everything already, and this on top of it is just making me feel even worse. I've been crying all day and don't have anyone to really talk to this about, so any advice would be very helpful. Thank you. Edit. He has already sent the $double back, as it's showing pending in my account already. I have looked through his laptop that is synced with his phone, our home office, his cars, because of how we were parked for the 3-day weekend, he had to take my 2-seater instead, and our financial statements. Unless he picked up an additional job to hide an affair. It would be hard for him to hide since his check direct deposits into my bank account, and I control the household finances. I'm much better with money than he is, and both of my parents were accountants, and I distribute the money. What he gets for fun money is not enough to hide an affair IMO, but I've already gone through everything. I would usually not be willing to do this, but I'm almost at my 3rd trimester, and need answers now, not later. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this. He has sent flowers and pregnancy-craving foods, and notes saying that he loves me. And he's sorry, but that's all they say. Not, "I'm sorry for stressing you out," which inadvertently stresses out our children. Not sorry for lying to you for weeks, if not months. Just, "I love you always, I'm sorry. Please call me." His sister kept texting me, and then she had the nerve to ask if I cheated on him too, so I told her what happened and what he said. She told me she chewed him out and told his parents too. His mom called this morning and said that no matter what, she and her daughter and my sister-in-law are here for me. So that helps, I guess. They know that my parents both have passed away, and I'm not very close to the rest of my family. I haven't bitten the bullet and told any of my friends yet, because once I tell them, it becomes a little too real. And too embarrassing. User comment: I can't help but feel incredibly pissed off for you. You are having his babies, and the first thing he wants to do is ask if you're cheating when he has been the one to stop everything sexual? 9 times out of 10. The only person cheating is the one to accuse. The fact that he has a really high sex drive and isn't doing anything with you? I'd be worried about that. This is not a normal guy reaction. A normal guy gets incredibly happy that his wife is having his babies. Some guys find that even more attractive. Most guys feel more in love, though. I'm not sure where he gets the feeling that most feels that way. He is acting like a boy that only cares for a perfect body. And yes, boy, not man. OP. That's how I felt. Him cheating never even crossed my mind until he accused me of that. I'm almost at my 3rd trimester and struggling to even put on and tie my shoes, and I fall asleep everywhere I go. So his thought process on that was really concerning. A little ashamed to admit, but his phone is synced to his laptop, and he left it when he went to his sister's, so I went through it already. I couldn't find anything iffy besides noticing that his porn watching has decreased to almost 0 as well. But I found plenty about pregnant bodies and changes to expect. It just feels really dehumanizing to still have all of these strangers telling me I'm glowing and beautiful while pregnant. And my own husband doesn't even feel that way. Update: he's back home now because his sister kicked him out. And after I told her what he said, she said she didn't want him in her house around her sons. We talked yesterday so I could get a better idea of what he is experiencing, and he said he has 0 sexual libido towards me. But other women do excite it occasionally, but not through porn either. I'm guessing he meant random women and acquaintances he sees. He said he's not cheating and has no plans to, but he can't promise a good sex life if he isn't attracted to me. I told him the sex isn't my concern right now, but if he loves me. He said he does and always will. But right now, he only sees me as a mom and not a wife or lover. He sees me the same way he sees his mom, and trying to initiate grosses him out. I asked if it was because of him being scared of hurting the babies, and he basically made a crude joke that let me know. That wasn't what he was worried about. It's just my body that turns him off. He said as long as I stay in shape, it shouldn't be a problem long term, but he's still worried about any scarring and stretching. He didn't even feel bad, and he felt like I overreacted by asking him to leave for a few days. I told him how cruel it was to say to someone who's in the weakest point of their lives, and he said, I was fine because I'm still working. Yeah, I don't have a choice but to. My career would be ruined otherwise. I'm thinking I'm going to just stay with him for the rest of my trimester, because I honestly need the help once I'm closer to giving birth, and then I'll have to start considering a divorce. He's upset because I've already moved my things to another room in the house, and I've already started separating our finances. He thinks this is something that can be worked through and wants us to go to marriage counseling. Considering how many times he poked fun at me going to therapy before, I don't buy it. I don't have the energy to entertain it either. I'm really just disappointed at myself and my choices right now, and knowing I'll be experiencing my first times as a mom alone, and everything is about to be 10x harder than I thought it would be. I mostly just want to say thank you for the messages I received from other mamas who went through the same thing and somehow came out of this sane. It really helped me to hear and realize this is not what I want. When I brought up a divorce, he didn't take it seriously at all, but I can't be with someone who's made me feel this low and disrespectful. My girlfriend asked for an open relationship. I want to break up. Basically, what the title says. She was talking about the Will Smith interview, and that she wonders how they manage that. I said there are all kinds of people in the world. It's a big world after all. No point in worrying about them. Then she said we should have an open relationship, but I said no, I have no interest in that. We argued back and forth until it suddenly dawned on me that I had the perfect solution here. So I told her we should break up and find someone more compatible. She broke down crying and said she should be allowed to list out her fantasies, and my point is that it's a lifestyle choice. One in which I have no interest. She said it's not a deal breaker for her if it meant breaking up with me. For the record, she has had a much more extensive sexual life than me. She is someone who detached sex and emotions, while I need to form an emotional bond before sex. I think I am demisexual. Our sexual life is very good, 4 or 5 nights a week, and plenty of non-sexual physical contact. Anyways, she is treating the matter as closed. She says she proposed. We argued, and I turned it down. So it's done. but I am not convinced. Are we doomed, or can it work? Oh, and we have been dating for 1 year. Please advise, as I am in two minds here. I agree that she should speak about her fantasies even if it remains just that. But this is more than a fantasy, right? Help me out here, folks. Update. So I had a long heart-to-heart with her. I started with asking if it was a deal breaker for her. She said absolutely not. Then I asked why she was debating it, and she said that she was only trying to win the argument in the moment. She never thought I would utter the words, break up. That's why she cried. Because in her mind we were just having a spirited discussion like we have all the time on topics like coal versus renewable energy, electric cars versus hydrogen cars, vegans versus non-vegans, atheism versus religion versus spiritualism, Tony Stark versus Bruce Wayne, and so on and so forth. It's true. We have a lot of these discussions. It's one of our favorite pastime. And she said, when you suddenly brought up breakup, I was like, WTF, where did this come from? She also agreed that her crying was a bit immature and childish, but she was hurt that I even thought about breaking up, but it was definitely not manipulative. And she said I should expect her to cry in future arguments too. Then we discussed the open relationship topic, and she said, for her, emotional intimacy is of more importance than physical intimacy. She also said that her deal breaker would be if I have an emotional affair that she can't get past. I asked if she wants to have sex with someone else than me, and she said only if you agree. I said, well, in that case, I will feel guilty that I am stopping you from enjoying your life. And she asked, well, should she also feel guilty that we only go to restaurants which have a good vegan venue? Because she is vegan and I am not. Am I stopping you from living your life? Or do you do it because you are an adult who makes his own decisions and you love me? So please trust me when I say that I will be perfectly happy having sex with just you as long as you don't neglect my needs, which you don't. In fact, I am having the time of my life right now, both physically and emotionally. So if you want to break up, then go ahead. I would you rather not. But I am having all my needs met by you, and I plan on being in a relationship with you. I asked, what if we get married and stay together for the next 50 years? Will you be okay with that? She said, well, if we get married and our marriage breaks down for any reason, I can assure you that it won't be because of infidelity. But we should also be secure enough that I tell you, see that guy, your girl? I would like to fuck him, her, and you tell me, yeah, not happening. I pout. Then we move on, secure in the knowledge that we trust each other enough to not hurt our marriage. Can you trust me now that you know I can have these feelings? If you say yes, then I will trust you. So likewise, I hope you trust me when I say I am perfectly happy not having sex with people outside of our relationship. It was an emotionally charged conversation, and she was hurt by my actions yesterday, but also understood why I had such a strong reaction. So now we are putting it in the same bin where we keep our other arguments, close the lid and move on till we find our next topic. And yes, I love her very much, enough to marry her, and I know she loves, or rather adores me. Thank you to everyone who commented and gave advice. We really appreciate this. If you have any question, feel free to ask. I am going to cook something nice for her now, so I will answer you when I have time. Have a nice day, everyone. We have come to the end of our story. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this. Tell us what you think about this story in the comments.